Do you know the country that uses this flag? Angola. What's the name of the country with this flag? Antigua and Barbuda. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Afghanistan. This flag is from which country? Argentina. Which country does this flag represent? El Salvador. What's the country for this flag? Albania. What country is represented by this flag? Iceland. Which country's flag is this? Azerbaijan. What country does this flag belong to? Ireland. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Armenia. What's the name of the country with this flag? Indonesia. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Equatorial Guinea. This flag is from which country? Ecuador. Which country does this flag represent? Israel. What's the country for this flag? Italy. What country is represented by this flag? Ethiopia. Which country's flag is this? Iraq. What country does this flag belong to? Eritrea. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Eswatini. What's the name of the country with this flag? Iran. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Uzbekistan. This flag is from which country? North Korea. Which country does this flag represent? North Macedonia. What's the country for this flag? Uruguay. What country is represented by this flag? Andorra. Which country's flag is this? Algeria. What country does this flag belong to? Estonia. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Austria. What's the name of the country with this flag? Australia. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Oman. This flag is from which country? Cambodia. Which country does this flag represent? Kazakhstan? What's the country for this flag? Qatar. What country is represented by this flag? Canada. Which country's flag is this? Cabo Verde. What country does this flag belong to? Kiribati. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Kyrgyzstan. What's the name of the country with this flag? Kuwait. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Kenya. Which place does this flag stand for? Cayman Islands. Which country does this flag represent? Cameroon. Which country does this flag represent? Côte d'Ivoire. What's the country for this flag? Comoros. What country is represented by this flag? Colombia. Which country's flag is this? Kosovo. What country does this flag belong to? Costa Rica. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Cuba. What's the name of the country with this flag? Croatia. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? The Gambia. This flag is from which country? Guinea. Which country does this flag represent? Guinea-Bissau. What's the country for this flag? Guyana. What country is represented by this flag? Gabon. Which country's flag is this? Greece. What country does this flag belong to? Grenada. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Guatemala. What's the name of the country with this flag? Ghana. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Chad. This flag is from which country? Chile. Which country does this flag represent? China. What's the country for this flag? Czech Republic. What country is represented by this flag? Jamaica. Which country's flag is this? Germany. What country does this flag belong to? Japan. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Zambia. What's the name of the country with this flag? Djibouti. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Zimbabwe. This flag is from which country? Georgia. Which country does this flag represent? Jordan. What's the country for this flag? Turkey. What country is represented by this flag? Tonga. Which country's flag is this? Togo. What country does this flag belong to? Tunisia. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Denmark. What's the name of the country with this flag? Democratic Republic of the Congo. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Dominican Republic. This flag is from which country? Dominica. Which country does this flag represent? Tanzania. What's the country for this flag? Tajikistan. Which place does this flag stand for? Taiwan. Which country's flag is this? Timor-Leste. What country does this flag belong to? Turkmenistan. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Tuvalu. What's the name of the country with this flag? Trinidad and Tobago. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Thailand. This flag is from which country? South Africa. Which country does this flag represent? South Korea. What's the country for this flag? South Sudan. What country is represented by this flag? Niger. Which country's flag is this? Nigeria. What country does this flag belong to? Nauru. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Namibia. What's the name of the country with this flag? Nicaragua. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Netherlands. This flag is from which country? Nepal. Which country does this flag represent? Norway. What's the country for this flag? New Zealand. What country is represented by this flag? Panama. Which country's flag is this? Paraguay. What country does this flag belong to? Palau. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Pakistan. What's the name of the country with this flag? Papua New Guinea. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Portugal. This flag is from which country? Peru. Which country does this flag represent? Poland. What's the country for this flag? Fiji. What country is represented by this flag? Finland. Which country's flag is this? Philippines? What country does this flag belong to? Palestine. Do you know the country that uses this flag? France. What's the name of the country with this flag? Bahrain. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? The Bahamas. This flag is from which country?
Bangladesh.
Which country does this flag represent? Barbados. What's the country for this flag? Burundi. What country is represented by this flag? Burkina Faso. Which country's flag is this? Bulgaria. What country does this flag belong to? Benin. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Belize. What's the name of the country with this flag? Belarus. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Belgium. This flag is from which country? Botswana. Which country does this flag represent? Bolivia. What's the country for this flag? Bosnia and Herzegovina. What country is represented by this flag? Brazil. Which country's flag is this? Brunei. What country does this flag belong to? India. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Bhutan. What's the name of the country with this flag? Mongolia. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Malawi. This flag is from which country? Malaysia. Which country does this flag represent? Micronesia. What's the country for this flag? Marshall Islands. What country is represented by this flag? Maldives. What country does this flag belong to? Mali. Which country's flag is this? Malta. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Egypt. What's the name of the country with this flag? Mexico. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Madagascar. This flag is from which country? Mauritania. Which country does this flag represent? Mauritius. What's the country for this flag? Montenegro. What country is represented by this flag? Mozambique. Which country's flag is this? Monaco. What country does this flag belong to? Morocco. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Moldova. What's the name of the country with this flag? Myanmar. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Yemen. This flag is from which country? Uganda. Which country does this flag represent? Ukraine. What's the country for this flag? United Kingdom. What country is represented by this flag? Rwanda. Which country's flag is this? Republic of the Congo. What country does this flag belong to? Russia. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Romania. What's the name of the country with this flag? Luxembourg. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Liberia. This flag is from which country? Laos. Which country does this flag represent? Latvia. What's the country for this flag? Liechtenstein. What country is represented by this flag? Lithuania. Which country's flag is this? Lesotho. What country does this flag belong to? Libya. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Lebanon. What's the name of the country with this flag? Vanuatu. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Vietnam. Which place does this flag stand for? Vatican City. Which country does this flag represent? Venezuela. What country is represented by this flag? Sri Lanka. What's the country for this flag? United Arab Emirates. Which country's flag is this? United States. What country does this flag belong to? Saudi Arabia. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Samoa. What's the name of the country with this flag? Serbia. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Cyprus. This flag is from which country? São Tomé and Príncipe. Which country does this flag represent? Singapore? What's the country for this flag? Syria. What country is represented by this flag? Sudan. Which country's flag is this? Suriname. What country does this flag belong to? St. Kitts and Nevis. Do you know the country that uses this flag? St. Lucia. What's the name of the country with this flag? St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Central African Republic. This flag is from which country? Senegal. Which country does this flag represent? Sierra Leone. What's the country for this flag? Seychelles. What country is represented by this flag? San Marino. Which country's flag is this? Somalia. What country does this flag belong to? Solomon Islands. Do you know the country that uses this flag? Spain. What's the name of the country with this flag? Slovakia. Can you tell me which country this flag is from? Slovenia. This flag is from which country? Switzerland. Which country does this flag represent? Sweden. What's the country for this flag? Hungary. What country is represented by this flag? Haiti. Which country's flag is this? Honduras.